Hey everyone, my name is Sean Arnold and welcome to another episode of Subscriber Showdown. Today I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist with one of my subscribers, MrMcAwesomePants. This was recorded after a stream which I did this past Monday after showing off my brand new Ghostricks deck. A deck which I've been trying to learn after being inspired by a friend of mine who goes by the name of RB. He absolutely loves Ghostricks, it's one of his favourite decks. And so I always promised that I would do try and build my own version of them and see if I can learn them too. And I really do enjoy them. They're full of amazing little combos. As you can see on the screen here, MrMcAwesomePants is playing his 6 Samurai deck, and a really good one at that. And this game is going to be a match best 2 out of 3 games. And yeah, let's get into some commentary for this video. So he plays Shien's Smoke Signal, a searcher card for 6 samurais that searches out a level 3 or lower 6 samurai monster. And now he normal summons Kakeki, the legendary 6 samurai, which when normal summoned can allow him to special summon 1 level 4 or lower 6 samurai from his hand. But he's not going to bother with that. He is going to go into a Synchro Shokan and go for legendary 6 samurai Shien. At one point, 6 samurais were really dominant in the game because of their boss monsters. One of them being Shien and the other being a Grandmaster Shien. Shien has a really annoying effect where once per turn during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So we get into this kind of meta game where if I play a card that he knows that could turn the tide in my favor, he's going to just stop it and he can negate it for free. So in this situation here, I'm considering to myself, do I play Ghostricks Vanish? I could play it to try and protect my monster, but he probably will negate it with 6 Samurai monster. And I would and then I would still lose my monster anyway. And I would rather lose 2 cards, 1 card instead of 2 cards. Now he attacks directly with his 1800 beta, and now he attacks directly with Shien. My apologies for the first 2 turns being cut off from this game. I didn't press the record button quick enough, but here we are, and he didn't really miss too much. He just managed to get field presence, and this is the situation we're in right now. Double-edged sword technique is a trap card which special summons 2 6 samurai monsters from your graveyard. However, if you do so and those monsters are still face up on the field during the end phase, you have to take damage equal to them. So MrMcAwesomePants had to take 1800 worth of damage in this turn. Shien is going to be a real problem. Ghostricks are very reliant on they're as much reliant on their spells and trap cards as they are their monsters, and it's going to be very difficult for me to kind of generate any kind of advantage right now or find a way to make a comeback in this situation. Fortunately, I've got Swords of Concealing Light on the field, which has made one of his monsters be flipped face down, and therefore he can't flip it face up. But I may be able to block and defend his attacks for a little while. MrMcAwesomePants draws into a 4th card. Is he going to play it? Let's see what he's going to do this turn. And kind of even at this point here, although I have a big life point deficit, and Shien is going to create all sorts of problems. The way you get out with Shien is typically you need to bait the 6 samurai monster player in order to using his effect on something that doesn't matter, then going for it. But in this situation, it's not going to matter anyway, because he has played one of the 6 samurais ace in the hole cards, and that's backs to the wall. You pay all your life points until you have 100 life points left. So he lost quite a lot. He lost 6100 life points there, and by doing so, he's able to special summon as many 6 samurai monsters from his graveyard as possible. It's a very risky card. It's an all or nothing card, and if you don't win with it, then consider your ass lost, because leaving yourself with 100, it can be very dangerous. But I think MrMcAwesomePants is quite confident in this situation, which is why he chose to play this ASAP. And he can use his tuner and his level 3 monster again to go for another Synchro Shokan, and this time he's going to go for Amadi's Bounder, Keeper of the Boundaries. This card is a real problem. This card is a really good synchro, level 5 synchro, because it has an effect where if it attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the battle phase, or until the end of the damage calculation, which means my Jiangshi won't go off and won't activate, so I won't get a search with it, and I can't activate any spell or trap cards to kind of stop his monster. And unfortunately, I don't really have anything to stop him anyway. So he attacks directly with Kizan, 1800 attack, and now he's going to attack directly with Xian, and that's going to be game for round 1. Okay, so let's get into round 2 here. Both him and I are not using side decks. I haven't built one for this deck yet. I don't think I will either, because I don't really use side decks too often in Legacy of the Duelist, because most of the games are out of one. Usually by the time I've learned a deck, I'm ready to move on to another archetype and start building around that. And I do have a new variant of this deck. Since playing this game, I took my deck and had it reviewed by my friend RB, and he made a lot of changes to it, so I should be doing a stream of the brand new build and showing what I've learned over the next couple of days and what his build looks like. And then I'll be going on to Dev Pro, which is a simulator for the PC, and trying it out with current cards. There are a lot of really good cards in the current environment. Okay, so we play Pull of Duality. Pull of Duality allows me to excavate the top 3 cards in my deck, and then I can choose one and add it to my hand. However, I cannot normal summon this turn. Pull of Duality has fallen out of favor quite a bit with a lot of decks these days, because it costs you your ability to special summon in that turn. However, Ghostricks don't really special summon in their own turn, unless they have something like Duel or some kind of revival card like Book of Life. Then they don't really special summon in their own turn unless you're like going to go for an Xyz monster. So I think Pot of Duality really works well in this deck here. It kind of fits the theme, and you really want to get your key cards quicker. Now, I've played Ghostricks Parade face up on the field, which makes it so that monsters cannot attack face down defense position monsters, but can attack directly if all monsters their opponent controls are face down. There's a reason why I want this face up in the field, but I'll get into that in a bit. It protects my monster, but it also has another added effect. Now, MrMcAwesomePants plays reinforcement on the army. 6 samurais on Legacy are really strong because they have so much searching tools. They have 3 copies of reinforcement in the army, which gets level 4 on lower warriors, and they have Xian's smoke signal, which gets level 3 on lower monsters. Now, MrMcAwesomePants normal summons Kageki, which is going to allow him to special summon 1 level 4 lower 1 from his hand, and he brings that Kagemusha of the 6 samurai, which is the level 2 warrior tuner. And then he also special summons Kizan. Now, before he can go for that synchro summon into Xian, I'm going to play a card that I like to play in this deck, and that's called Needle Ceiling. When there are 4 or more monsters on the field, you can destroy all face up monsters. A really fun card to play in Ghostricks, because a lot of your monsters will be face down during your own turn unless you have Xyz. But even then, depending on what your deck style is, you might have face down monsters. And so Needle Ceiling really comes in handy there, because there's so much swarming going on these days. And now that I've been able to stun his first play, this should really work out in my favor. One of the weaknesses with 6 samurai is that they're very, very explosive on their, or one of their strengths is that they're very explosive on their first turns also. But if you can survive the first couple of turns, 6 samurais often tend not to play the grind game too well, and that's gonna be my only way of surviving this game, is if I can kind of just slow his pace down and kind of get control of the field. So I flip something over Jiangshi. Jiangshi has a monster effect where when flipped face up, I can add a Ghostricks monster from my deck to my hand, whose level is equal to the number of Ghostricks I have on the field. So having only 1 Ghostrick on the field means I can add a level 1 monster. I add Ghostricks Lantern from my deck to my hand. Then I use Jiangshi's effect, which all Ghostricks have, and flip it that face down so that he'll be protected, and if my opponent attacks directly, then I'm not going to be, I'll be able to keep Jiangshi on the field. MrMcAwesomePants draws into another card and normal summons Enshi. Enshi has an effect where once per turn during either player's turn, you can manage 2 6 samurai monsters from your graveyard to target 1 monster your opponent controls, and I think you destroy it. I'm pretty sure you destroy it. Now, his Enshi is attacked directly, which is going to allow me to do 2 things. 1, I'm going to negate his effect with his attack by using Lantern's effect and special summon it to the field, but then I also get to use Parade's effects. Parade is an effect where when your opponent declares a direct attack, you can add 1 Ghostricks card from your deck to your hand. It's a really, really good searching tool, and I really like to have it in the early game in order to set up my plays and get some searching done. It is a little bit risky though, because you're allowing your opponent to attack directly, so you can take a bit of damage, but I would gladly give up a couple of life points or a couple of thousand life points in order to get a search out. And I searched for a monster called Ghostricks Nekomusumi. Nekomusumi has a really cool effect, but I won't tell you what that is just yet. We'll let MrMcAwesomePants end his turn, then we'll go over to my turn here. I draw into Ghostricks Mary, fortunately, which is a really good searching tool. And first of all, I'm going to flip over Ghostricks Lantern. And then I'm going to flip over Ghostricks Jiangshi. Now, I kind of messed up here. I probably should have normal summon Nekomusumi first before flipping over Jiangshi, because then I would have been able to get a level 3 monster from my deck. But that's okay. I've got one card which I really want. And that is going to be Ghostricks Witch. Ghostricks Witch is a level 2 Ghostricks monster. And its effect is, well, I'll tell you what its effect is when it comes around to doing so. But one thing which you should, people may not know with Ghostricks is that they all have this common theme of all the level 1 monsters are fiend types, I believe. And then all the level 2s are spellcasters, and all the level 3s are zombies. And yeah, so Ghostricks Witch is a spellcaster. And normal summoning her to the field is going to let me use her effect. Her effect is once per turn, I can flip one monster my opponent controls into face down defense position. It's a really good card for shutting down threats, and it also allows me to start attacking with my monsters. For some reason I'm decided not to do that though this turn. I'm just going to flip my monsters face down. Not sure why I did that. I should have gone for some... Oh, I know why I didn't do that. The reason why I didn't do that is because Ghostricks Parade has a downside effect, and that is my opponent takes no damage while that card is face up in the field. That's why I don't really run too many copies of Parade. It's a good search here, but I can't do any damage to my opponent, which is my win condition, and therefore I need to find a way to replace it. So MrMcAwesomePants decides to flip summon his monster Enshi. Not sure why he took a little while to start thinking about his play there. That's okay. Now he normal summons Kagemusha. A little bit worrying because now he's got an Earth Tuner on the field, and he's going to allow him to access his extra deck again. I'm wondering whether he's going to maybe be playing some cards like Naturia monsters. Maybe he might be playing something like Naturia Barkion. I know all the 6 samurais aren't Earth type, but I think quite a few of them are. If not, yeah, I'm pretty sure quite a few of them are. He also plays Soul Charge. Soul Charge being a normal spell card which allows you to special summon as many monsters from your graveyard as you want, but you take 1000 life points in damage for each. So let's see what he goes for. He goes for Kageki, he goes for Kizan, and he goes for another Kagemusha. So that's going to be 3 monsters, and therefore he'll lose 3000 life points. Soul Charge is a really cool card. It's often worth running if you can have an extra deck, or you are able to use the monsters you get to control the battlefield, and 6 samurais are very capable of doing so. This could be really bad for me actually. It could really put me on the ropes, especially if he gets a monster like Shien out again, because that's going to shut down a lot of plays. And now he plays a different card I've never seen before, which is 6 Samurai Triple Impact. And what this card does is, if you have 3 6 Samurai face up 6 Samurai monsters, you can activate 1 of 3 effects. And the effect he chose is to destroy all spell and trap cards from your opponent controls. So he doesn't want me searching anymore. He wants to kind of destroy my monsters and go through them. But he can't attack this turn, so at least there's that. He sends down Kizan and Kagemusha to the graveyard to bring out Shien as expected for some spell and trap card negation. And is he going to bring out another one? He can't bring out another Shien because he hasn't got any more level 3s on the field, but he's got a 2 and a 4, so maybe some kind of level 6 monster, level 6 synchro monster that is. Again, if he has another earth monster on the field, something like Naturia Barkion could be really good in order to negate trap effects, so he can destroy, he can put more pressure on my back row, even though I don't have a trap in my hand. Let's see, what's he gonna do? He might just end it, he might not bother with anything. No, he's gonna play a card, he's gonna go for a level 6 synchro, and he goes for Yugioh Guardian. Yugioh Guardian, yeah, used to be a really popular synchro at one point, because its effect is that when it destroys a monster by battle, it can special summon it to his side of the field. Kind of like a Snatch Steal, but free through battle. If I'm going to survive this next turn, I'm going to need to make something happen right now, and I've got to be really careful about it too. So first of all, I'm going to start off by playing the madam that I played earlier, and that's Ghostricks Witch. Ghostricks Witch, now I'm going to flip summon Jiangshi, again making that mistake. I should have flipped summon Lantern first. No reason why I shouldn't have really, but it's fine. I can go and add another card from my deck to my hand. So I'll go and add Spectre in case monsters get destroyed. And now I might as well. I could flip summon Lantern now, but it's a little bit late to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Ghostricks Witch's effect to change one monster to face down defense position. And can you guess which one it's going to be? Yeah, of course, it's going to be Xian, allowing me to shut down his spell and trap negation effect, and that way I can start to do some damage to clear his field. You saw me scrolling through his card. I just tried to remind myself that Xian has an effect where if this card is going to be destroyed, you can destroy a different 6 samurai monster instead. So that's not going to matter when you're using Raigeki, because all of his cards are being destroyed at the same time. But now with the field nice and clear and he hasn't got no pressure and control onto me, I'm going to flip over Lantern, and now I'm going to normal summon Nekamasumi. Now the thing with Ghostricks is they have very small attacks, but their effects are very strong. And if I can maintain control of the field, I should be able to poke at my opponent and take out his life points a little bit slowly. Currently on the field, we've got a total of I see 2,800 damage there. Not a whole lot for 4 monsters, but it will do. It all adds up. Okay, now before I end this turn, I'm going to flip some of my monsters face down, but not all of them. Some of them I want to keep face up. I'm going to flip down Jiangxi because he's the searcher, and he's something you want to use every turn if possible. And I'm going to flip summon Lantern because he's got the weakest attack. And now I'm going to end my turn. Now, I've got managed to put MrMcAwesomePants in a situation where Nekamasumi is going to have a soft lock on him. We might not see it. I can't remember how this duel turns out, but Nekamasumi's effect is if a level 4 or higher monster is special summoned or normal summoned to my opponent's side of the field, it automatically gets flipped face down. But I must have one other Ghostrick face up on the field in order to use that effect. So I'm going to keep Witch face up on the field in order to keep Nekamasumi's effect live, but then I'll be able to put pressure on him. Nekamasumi has a really cool effect. Even though she's got such weak stats, her effect is really disruptive to many players, and can be a great card to play against different decks in certain situations. Okay, so I turned Nekamasumi to defense. I am worried about what his face down card is. I don't really want to do too much. That's crazy here. It could be a Torrential, it could have been a Mirror Force, not really quite sure. So I am going to attack kind of safely, see if I can go for game here, but it's only a moment to find out. He might have a card that can special summon some 6 sounds from his graveyard and then therefore block the attack, but yeah, I didn't want to do anything which would let me make me lose my field presence right now, because that would be devastating. 400 damage goes through. Now 800 through Ghostricks Lantern. And if this last attack goes through, we should have this. Oh? No, we didn't get it. MrMcAwesomePants decides to play Dimensional Prison, stopping that last attack there, leaving himself with 1,000 life points. Still, I'm in a favourable position here, but he could turn it around. 6 Samurais, like I said, have a lot of revival cards, and they could be pretty explosive. I normal summon Ghostricks Mummy, which gives me more normal summons for my turn, and decide to bring out Ghostricks Stein as well. Now I'm going to use Mummy and Stein to XE summon into Ghostricks Alucard, and this is the situation which I really want to be in. I really want to have Nekamasumi up on the field along with Ghostricks Alucard, because he adds to the soft lock. Alucard makes it so that my opponent cannot attack other Ghostricks monsters except for him, and Nekamasumi makes it so that level 4 higher monsters get flipped face down. So you gotta have a level 3 monster which can have a high enough attack to destroy Alucard, and he only has 1800, but in most situations it seems like he's got enough to kind of deal with this. So yeah, I think this is it for MrMcAwesomePants. I don't think he can actually do anything else, and I think we've got this game as he does surrender. Tune in next time and we'll see the result.